Oh. There we go. Hello.
Hello, I'm Szara.
And I'm Helen. And together we are Committed
Parenting.
Yay.
Yes. So we're here normally we come to you with a conversation through a certain commitment and a certain lens. And with everything that's been going on, we're now coming to you every weekday, Monday to Friday, 12:30 p.m. Pacific time, to have a conversation, to look at like what's happening, what's going on, and bring a conversation to come together so that families thrive. There's connection, kids get heard, and parents have power.
And really what I want to bring to you is it's your opportunity to pause in the middle of your day and take stock. What's been and what there is to create for the rest of the day. Honestly.
Yeah. Pause and be with exactly how you are, exactly what's going on, and then get clear and connect to something that matters and you want to create and step into something. Yes.
Yay.
So there's all kinds of things we can bring to the conversation today. I don't know. I've over the last couple of days, there's been a lot of spaces over where I am of what our family has been kind of going through and discovering. Some things are fantastic and breakthroughs, and other things are that.
And I think what you're pointing to is exactly this experience of I used to call it a confluence, where you have these two big parts that seem almost extreme or opposites that exist together. So for me in my life, when both my last two kids were born, I lost a parent at a very similar time. And I remember that experience of having this birth and death like juxtaposed. And that's how this is for me around COVID. There's the really great stuff that we create, or something's happening, or something shifts, or your kid comes home, versus then all the stuff that people are dealing with, and the real reality of what it is to live in a world. The stuff we generally push away is really up front, right here, and there's no escaping it.
And that's what I noticed. That's where I'm actually, I guess, where I'm grappling the most. It's like in the middle of that, because like right now I look around and I'm so freaking privileged. Like I really am. Like I get to be in my home. My family is around, we're in a beautiful country that's really supporting its people and giving access to things. We're creating all kinds of beautiful things in the day, like my, all this family time and this beautiful connection time and fun things we're creating. Like in some ways it's like, this is the best thing that's ever happened. Like, it's just beautiful. It's amazing. Like the enjoyment and satisfaction inside of my day is extremely heightened. And then on the other side, there's some really crappy, sad things. Like, my mom's not doing great, and I'm sure she'll be fine. And it's so sad. And it's hard to be with. And it's like and because you can't be there to do much. Also, like the distance.
Things you would normally take on and do that would have you have this experience of being engaged and making a difference. You don't have that as a repertoire.
You don't. Like I don't get to go over there and be with her or help her out or anything. And like she'd want that anyways, because oftentimes like I notice myself, I'm not a natural nurturer. I sometimes make it a little worse, but it's like you just don't have the same kind of access, so you're like you're almost cut off from being able to actually make a difference, which actually leaves me more unsettled. Like it's just like it feels like worse or harder, or like you don't know what to do, so you just kind of like I'm in a loop, like I'm in a bit of a loop, like almost I find myself even pacing sometimes just thinking about it, and it's like there's nothing to do, there's nothing I can do. There's like I'll send messages or we'll talk as we can, or things that will help more distract me than anything, not really I'm not like make a difference. And yet there's amazing joy and satisfaction in my life and my family. Like so it's these dualities that I'm actually really grappling in, because people will ask like the dreaded question, like, how are you? I'm like, oh, please just don't ask. Like, don't ask. Like, and it's not, I love to be honest.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't even know where I am.
And honestly, Szara, I think that is the experience of this time, is that for us privileged people, who have our house and our families, whatever it looks like. I think almost everybody I've spoken to has exactly that. That there are some, like it really is that duality, that there's the stuff that's going well, and then there's the stuff that's really hard to be with. I don't know anyone who's not dealing with that. And maybe and I think for some people it's much more extreme than, what I'm, mine is neat, like, I don't know. I feel very lucky. But I think what I just want to go back and say to you is what you were saying about the difference making for your mom. I really want to offer you that part of it is just to look right there at how you usually make a difference and just notice like all the stuff that's there around making a difference. And not make it wrong that you can't do that stuff and not even resist, but actually just notice all that stuff. Because what we do then is try and like fix something, and try and be like, make something happen.
Yeah, you get to just like really the opportunity is to be with it. Like we get such a freaking opportunity to be with it all. It's like it's funny because as a like I'm a life coach and I work with clients. One of my biggest thing it's always like you get to be with everything that's here exactly how it is and experience it and be with it and try it on. And you know what I want to do with that right now? I'm just like
exactly
be with it. And yet like that's all like that's what there is to do and be. It's like just as you said, and it is, and like the resistance to that is heightened. And what there is like, and what's here right now.
And I also think
what's here right now.
I think I do the same thing. The hard things I want to resist. I want to not look at, right? And sorry, there's just a kid walking through. This is what it is to live in a house with however many people we have currently. I don't know, 8 or so. I was just going to say, the opportunity you were talking about being with it, we can resist it, but I actually heard in your sharing these, that's when we actually suffer. When we try to like push it away, that's actually where we create the suffering. And it actually creates distance. I'm going to say again, creates distance between you and your mom right in that moment. Sorry.
Well, it creates distance in me in my life. Like what I noticed too is like that resistance, like it's interesting because like who I usually am, like standardly is I'm somebody who's like, I'm in communication a lot with a lot of people throughout the day. Like I love being with people, lots of conversations are going on. I'm really curious about other people's lives. Like there's so much of that generally. And right now with this duality that's happening and me being like kind of not sure where it all is or how to be with it, I notice I'm actually really protective. I'm like, I'm like, there is a more distance. Like there's a cut off. I'm not reaching out and having the conversations I usually have with people. I'm like, I'm not really sharing or talking because I don't want to be with where I'm at. Like, so I'm not even, sharing about that. So it's like this shut down here and shut down there. And I'm actually like self-isolating myself. Like I'm literally like starting to isolate myself. And even for my own kids, like this, like what I can hear is like, yes, we're having lots of satisfaction, fulfillment as a family. And then I'm not like, there's a lot more like isolating of myself and like protection almost happening with it too, which I'm noticing like come up.
Yeah. I acknowledge your courage to have this conversation out loud. Honestly. Yeah, it feels small in comparison, but yesterday when we were getting ready for Dan to come home, we started off the day with this whole like space of like, let's create this, let's have this day. Like Ben and I like did yoga and then we made stuff for him. And then I noticed at some point it all became about getting something done and it needed to be right. Like somehow if the bed is made perfectly and I have all the home cooked meals ready and the space is 100% clean and prepared, then he'll know he's loved right then. But not at any other point in time. And it needs to look a certain way. And what I got for myself right in that moment is I noticed that how driven I was being. And what I noticed and what the part that gave me pause is what connects to what you were saying is I wasn't present. I wasn't even present with my kid at the moment. And I started to get snippy and like drive something, Like that moment is the moment that I then could say, okay, I notice I'm doing this. So now I get the choice to do something different. Right? But how I am in my every like, if you just leave me on my own, I'm very driven and I'll just get this stuff done, right?
Yeah. And what I just heard, yeah, and I hear like for me, like driving, like, cause I recreated what you're saying, like there can be this natural, like just drive. And it's like, it really is. And I'm noticing it showing up right now, like with that, like isolating I'm doing. It's like, it's such a protection mechanism. Drive. It's like, I don't have to be with the hurt, the concern, the love.
But actually the love.
Yeah, it's funny because as soon as I pause, it's like, that's everything that's right there. And it's like, I don't want to feel this because I'm so afraid it's just going to hurt that much more. Yeah. And it's like, even with the kids, it's like, I'd rather just keep a little bit of distance, just enough so I don't have to feel quite as deeply. You know, that's why I'm not reaching out and having calls. It's like, I don't actually want to get curious or related to your life because I don't really want to care too much. So it's interesting to see like my mechanisms of what I put in place to like protect myself and guard from caring too much or loving, or because then you're open for hurt. Yeah.
But that's exactly it. Because then, you know, it's when we're vulnerable, right?
Yeah.
Then it, you know.
Yeah. This is the opportunity of the moment to pause.
But it is because now you're actually present to your love.
Yeah,
and can I offer you the other part that I hear out of that right now? Is when you're present to your love, you don't regret stuff. It's when you're not present that you end up with all the bloody regret. Like, honestly.
Yeah. Yes.
I think that's why there's that silly quote, you know, it's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved. I mean, I never understood that, except in this moment. When I'm listening, you will not regret having loved.
Yeah.
Because you were present to your love.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just see such the opportunity of this pause and the importance of actually this pause. Without it, it just keeps going. Like it just keeps in a whirlwind. It keeps in a loop. It keeps, you know, protecting. And it's like how the day would go without the pause. I could see it. It's like just my hand up, a little bit back there, a little bit back. And like with this pause and getting connected to, yeah, I really love people.
You really love. And not like this much love. It's the wild all the way through love.
Yeah. And it's like the love I can't control, that love that's so huge and
unbounded.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah. And I'm terrified of it. and the opportunity of it. It's just that's what I'm about. And that's what in families it's so important for me. And that's why my family, like that's what wins the day, is that love wins the day.
It really is. And it's the wild, unbounded, not neatly tied up in a bow love.
Yeah. It's the mushy tear love.
Yeah, and the fierce, like I'm gonna stand for something, love. You know, I'm gonna like there's something at stake here, love. Yeah. It's so who you are for me, like over and over and over.
Very grateful for this moment. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I just see that again, this opportunity of the pause. And what's right there for you?
Yeah.
What is going on? Get related. Just take a moment to even get related to yourself in this moment. Yeah. What is underneath?
It's so true because, you know, even this morning I have some things I need to fulfill on and I want to hang out with my kid, you know, and I'm like, I'm going to drive my way through that blooming day. I am, you know, and now what I actually have is, hey, I get to take stock. Okay, how's this day actually going to look? What am I taking on so that I lived fully?
Yeah. Yeah. So the thing that's important to you, love, how's that getting to, be your day? And that be the thing that pulls the day forward. and not me on driver's mode or protection mode. Yeah. It's like that love that's out there gets to pull me through my day. Yeah. Like, oh my gosh, my day will go like it. Like literally, if I stand there, if I stand like that love out there is pulling me forward. It's a really beautiful day of, tight squeezes with my boys and, just being with them, looking at them, like pausing when you even just, those moments. I think every parent has them where you just stand and you just like, you take stock of them. You take them all in. Like with all the senses, you just take every little bit of them in. Like mark it in a moment. That's what today gets to be over here because of this pause. Yeah.
Me too. Honestly, just get to savor each person.
And I invite anybody watching this, like I really do. I'm just the difference this pause is making for me right now. I really invite anybody watching this, share what's right there for you right now as a way to take stock. Just what is right there for you? What is underneath? What's driving? What's showing up? As a way to really be with the whole picture of it, like be with all of you. And then see what comes up, like what arises of like, what is really important? What's going to pull you forward today as a creation that fills you up as expression of you.
Exactly.
Yeah. And reach out and share it though with someone, like either share it in the comments here, call somebody dear with you and share with them and just, be for a moment with someone. Not because you're not by yourself.
No, you really are.
Because that's what I hear. It's like I've been over by myself.
Yeah. I didn't realize that, when you said that, like I didn't realize one of our neighbors has some underlying condition. They cannot be like this. This will take them out if they get it. And I didn't realize. And it was a moment in time. She called to ask me something and I called her back and I happened to be on my way to a store. And I didn't realize, I wouldn't have known except in that moment that and she's amazing and she's got people and whatever. But I just have a different appreciation of not being over here where I am. Like I don't know how else to say it, but in that moment where you spoke to us, I can be over here where I am. And then that's fine. I'll have my life how it goes. But in that moment, we got to shout at each other across the street. I got to offer her something. We got to have this hilarious conversation. And I'm now so connected again. That's what I'm talking to. That was in the past, so I get to create that again. I'm not saying I can rest on my laurels, but it's that. It's that moment, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Getting related to ourselves, getting related to another, being honest with where we're at and what's happening for us. And even inquiring, because truthfully, sometimes we just don't know what's right there. Inquiring and asking yourself, what is right here for me right now?
Yeah.
What's right there for you over now, other human I care about? Really, like provide them the space that they can actually say what's really right there for them.
Yeah.
As an inquiry.
Exactly, as an inquiry, not because
not
I
a
have
how are
to
you
and not have to get anywhere, but actually, yeah. Actually, my character on the weekend was really being curious. That was the
love
access.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, in this moment, is to be curious rather than, try to drive something. See, this drivenness thing is showing up everywhere where I'm.
Yeah, I just find that right now, and I guess it's all this time we have with ourselves. It's like anything that tends to happen, any kind of default, any kind of mechanism, any kind of loop I normally get stuck in, pattern or story or something, is amplified tenfold. Yeah. And it's like perfect though. It's like it's heightened. And it's like right there for me to confront and be with and have some discoveries in.
It's what you
like the ultimate personal growth. It's the ultimate personal growth method, this pandemic.
In a blooming petri dish.
I know. If you ever want to take your own personal growth on this pandemic can be the best course around. Yes. Anything you would like to add before we sign off today, Helen?
I am moved to be in conversation with you. And thank you for being so just beautiful and vulnerable, and just somebody I always want to be in the world with.
Thank you for being here and being that person that's out, like, this woman, Helen, she's a person that like is there thick and thin for it all. Nobody will ever be alone with you in this world.
Thank you, Melody.
Yeah. So thank you all for taking this moment of pause. Please pause. Please share. Reach out with someone. And again, we'll be back every Monday to Friday, 12:30 p.m. Pacific time. Plus or minus a few minutes for technical difficulties that we sometimes run into. But we're having this conversation to pause, to, take a close look so that families get to thrive. That's what we're about around here.
But this really is it. This is how we thrive. It doesn't look like all jumped up, right? It looks like thriving. Yeah.
Yeah. So keep joining us. Keep tuning in. Until tomorrow.
Okay. Bye. Love you.
Bye.